Good morning, students. Take out your English book. Lesson number 7, Indian Independence Day 2. While the children were busy playing games, Bimla's mother was chatting in the garden with Mrs. Wilson, who was admiring the dresses of the children. What colorful costumes you have in India? Why are the children dressed so differently from one another? She asked. Now I'll tell you the uh, meaning of underlined words such as chatting, admiring, costumes. Chatting means talking in a friendly manner. Admiring means an expression which shows that you like or respect someone or something. Costume means a style of dress worn by the people. Now, while the children were very busy in playing different kinds of games, Bimla's mother was talking in the garden with Mrs. Wilson, and she was admiring the dresses of the children. And she said, "What a colorful style of dresses peoples are or children are wearing." And she also said, "Wow, there are different types of dresses in India, and why the childrens are wearing or peoples are wearing different types of dresses in your country." Now in this picture we can see the different dresses worn by the children. Some are wearing dhoti kurta, some are wearing sari, some are wearing uh, kurta pajama, some are wearing turban cape, some are wearing skirt. Well, these children belong to different communities. Mrs. Desai said, "Do you see that the boy with the pink turban? He comes from the Punjab in the north. He is Sikh. Therefore, he has several types of turban." Communities means a group of people having common characteristics, and turban means a long piece of cloth worn round the head. Well, these children are from different communities of India, and Mrs. Desai said, "Do you see the boy who is wearing pink turban? And he is from northern India, and he is a Sikh or Punjabi. That is why he wears a turban." Soros Pandit, here is a Maharashtrian, and so she has a short blouse with a long skirt worn by young Maharashtrian girl. Hanif is a Muslim, so she has come in his silk kurta and churidar with his yellow velvet jacket embroidered with gold and his matching pink skull cap. Now, students, I tell you the meaning of embodied in skull cap. Embodied means decorate cloth by sewing patterns on it with thread, and skull cap means a small close fitted cap. "I now see that you have many communities in India," said Mrs. Wilson. That is so, said Mrs. Desai, but we are all Indians. Mrs. Wilson said, "Oh, now I came to know that there are different communities in your country, India." "Yes, that is so," said Mrs. Desai. "But we are one, that is why we are called Indians." "Do they all speak the same language or do they speak different languages?" asked Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson asked, "Do they all speak the same language or speak different languages?" "They speak different languages," replied Mrs. Desai. "For example, I come from Gujarat, so I speak Gujarati. Soros Pandits come from a Marathi speaking family in Maharashtra, and therefore Marathi is her mother tongue." Mrs. replied that in India people speak different languages. For example, I am from Gujarat, so I am speaking Gujarati. Soros Pandit is from Maharashtra and she speaks Marathi, and Marathi is her mother tongue. "Does that mean all the children in Maharashtra speak Marathi?" asked Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson asked, "It means all the children who are in Maharashtra they all speak Marathi?" "Not at all," replied Mrs. Desai. "Children speak in their own mother tongues. For example, Hanif uses Hindi at home while the sick boy Karan speaks Punjabi." "Not at all," replied Mrs. Desai. "Children speak their own mother tongue. Suppose Hanif uses Hindi and Karan speaks Punjabi." "What languages are spoken in other states?" asked Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson again asked, "What languages are spoken in other states of your country?" "Well, each state has its own language, such as Tamil in Tamil Nadu and Bengali in Bengal," said Mrs. Desai. "But we also have a common language for India." Mrs. Desai replied, "Each state has its own language, like Tamil in Tamil Nadu, Bengali in Bengal. But we have also have a common language in our country." "What is that?" asked Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Wilson asked, "What is that common language?" "Hindi," replied Mrs. Desai. "Hindi is spoken by the largest number of people in India. Whether we speak Gujarati, Marathi or Bengali, we try to learn Hindi. This common language reminds us that although we come from various parts of India, India is our motherland and we all belong to India." Now, the motherland means one's native country. Mrs. Desai replied, "Hindi. Hindi is the common language and it is spoken by the largest number of people in our country. Yes, we speak Gujarati, Marathi or Bengali, but we try to learn Hindi. Hindi, the common language, remind us that we are from different parts of our country, but we are one. And India is our motherland." "How happy children are!" exclaimed Mrs. Wilson. Exclaimed means speaking suddenly or loudly. "Not only children, even we adults are happy today," said Mrs. Desai. "After all, we are celebrating the day when we became free. For over 200 years, the British ruled over us. Our countrymen An omen led by our great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi fought for freedom and many of them suffered a lot. They were sent to jail, some were even killed, but struggled and died so that we could be free. Now, struggled means try hard to do something or achieve something. Mrs. Desai said, not only children, we adult persons also very happy on this day. After all, our country got freedom on this day from the Britishers who ruled our country for over 200 years, and great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi suffered a lot for the freedom of our country. He was sent to jail many years, and like him, many freedom fighters also fought for the freedom of a country, and they were sent to jail, and some were hanged also, killed also by the British government. Mrs. Desai, I fully understand what you feel, said Mrs. Wilson. After all, we Americans too had to struggle for our freedom. I know why you feel so happy on this great day. Mrs. Desai said, yes, I am also understanding your feeling because our country, America, also was uh, under another country for many years, and we also get independence after many years. It was getting dark. The children had finished playing games. They thanked Bimla and her mother for a wonderful evening. Goodbye, Mrs. Desai. Thank you, Bimla, said the children. Now it was getting dark means now it was evening, and the children also finished their playing games. They thanked Bimla and her mother for that wonderful evening or hospitality, and they said goodbye, Mrs. Desai. Thank you, Bimla, said the children. Thank you for coming, said Bimla, and she waved them goodbye. And Bimla said, thank you for coming in our home, and she waved her hand and said goodbye. Students, dear students, now this lesson is over. Now I'm going to give you the homework, and your homework is, what is the common language of India? And homework number 2 is, for over how many years British ruled our country?